Welcome back to the BVarsity Live Super Show. Zach Ewing, Trevor Horn with you. We move right along. We just had Jason Oliver of Foothill up next. Brett Shelton of Stockdale. How are you doing,
The
Coach?
most elusive man in Kern County.
Doing well.
I'm actually excited that you're actually here because it seems like last year was such a unique year for you because you were going through your master's degree, right? Or you were doing something where we just couldn't find you.
Yeah, we'll just getting the program started. I'm the only coach on campus, so I had to make sure all 3 levels are ready to rock and roll, and I had
There's a little bit of
zero to
babysitting
know.
involved with that. When you
you got to make
campus.
sure your coaches are ready, and they are. Now they're studs, But
Right.
that first year, you got to make sure your meetings are on point and doing all those little things that you got to make sure that, because they're going to be my boys eventually on varsity, you got to make sure they're doing it right, and we got it nailed down now.
Yeah,
got a
let's
little bit more
start
time
there. Year 2, there's no bigger difference between year 1 and year 2. I mean, you have to feel so much more comfortable than you did last August.
Absolutely. I think to start it off, just knowing the character of the kids. I mean, obviously the terminology is a big thing, just the vocab, but getting to know the character of the kids, their work ethic, seeing them grow as men, and then who you can count on, and then moving on to my coaches, the complete trust in your coaches. I mean, that speaks for itself.
Yeah. You said you have 7 starters back on each side of the ball. We kind of calculated that, but you didn't really think of it that way when I first asked you, because it's always areas of concern. But you do have 4 starting offensive linemen back. Anthony Onsora as the quarterback is back. You lose Kenny Torrance, your 1,000-yard rusher from last year. Well, let's start offensively. What's your take on, how much did you have to start over, and how much could you just pick up right where you left off last year?
Offensively, we actually changed it up a little bit because we were running pistol last year because we didn't know if we can trust our O-line that much.
Okay.
And as we grew on, we're like, all right, we can run gun, which you actually saw later in the year. So this year, our base is at a gun because our O-line can maintain blocks. They can pull, kick, and do all these wonderful things that we've wanted to do. It's just we didn't know if we can do that first year, especially me not knowing the talent as well. Mm-hmm. Been around these guys around 15 months now, and anything put on their plate, they're capable of doing.
Anthony, we know, is a heck of a baseball player, but he can wing the football too.
Well, he was a basketball plair. He's
It's Sean Mullen.
Sean Mullen is a baseball player.
Yeah, him and Anthony are getting after it. They're both great for each other. They're pushing each other. We're trying to make them feel uncomfortable because you're never comfortable in a game time situation. So they need to learn to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, which is a weird term. But right now, we got a little quarterbacks going at it, and obviously I could speak highly about both. Anthony just physically is a phenomenon, strong. His weight room ethic is awesome. Same with Sean Mullins. Sean is just mentally tough kid. Talked about he's a pitcher in baseball, so he understands that one-on-one battle. But those two, I mean, it's a good problem to have.
Okay, so whoever wins the job, you feel like you're in pretty good hands, and if one guy goes down, you got somebody else ready to go.
Yeah, last year we didn't have that second guy, go-to guy, or anybody to push Anthony. Now they're pushing each other, and Anthony's gotten better because of Sean. Sean's gotten better because of Anthony. It's actually a coach's great problem.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about quarterback controversy and all that. Well, who had one last year? Liberty did, and that worked out okay for them. So they found their guy, and everything else was gravy at that point. Defensive side of the ball, who sticks out for you there as far as a returning and a leader?
Well, the leader-wise, we're relying heavily on Zion Williams. Okay. Zion, he played a little bit of backer for us, and then we actually rolled him down. We called him an end at the time, but we were really running a 3-4. We just tricked our guys into believing it was a 4-3 defense. But we rolled him down as an end, and he just did things that, I mean, most high school players, he was taking on tackles, taking on tight ends, taking on pulling guards, and it's like, all right, so we're going to throw him in the middle where Coley was last year, for trying to fit those shoes. And right now, vocal-wise, he's become the leader and stepped up.
And you need that.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on defense. It's all about fire, wanting to get to the ball, the hunger to get to the ball, just eager to get to the party. This is what we like to call it, get to the party. And he is very energetic, very vocal, unafraid to make mistakes, which means he's 100% through and through. Another guy we're kind of leaning our hat on right now is, our lineman, Gio. His real name's Walter Ramirez. Gio Ramirez, he's a returning junior. We put him on the ground 3 technique last year. We're heavily on him because he was a sophomore last year, not to make excuses, but now he's actually understands what's expected of him and how much that Mike Backer is leaning on him, because if he doesn't do his job, Zion's getting blown up.
There you are in action, Brett. Oh, we lost you, but that's.
Yeah, the not sweaty shirt is unique for me to see.
But I think one thing you're intense out there. You're energetic. You try to. Is that to infuse that in the kids? I mean, maybe you can't be any other way.
The best way you coach the way you coach, and I like to say I learned from the best when it comes to coaching wise, especially up in college. He knows Coach O. I had Coach Skipper, Coach Pace. These guys were the most intense guys, and I kind of just took them. They mentored me, and I kind of want to teach the game the same way they taught me. So hopefully I could do it justice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, I think, throughout the year had some big wins. I know the one at Centennial, which you win on a last-minute field goal, is big for momentum. And as the season turns out, you finish 4-6. And I want to say you had to win one of your last two, I think, to make the playoffs. But they were, I mean, in that league, it can be so brutally tough to say, oh, we just need to win one of two. Well, guess who you're playing? You're playing the last two league champs in Frontier and Bakersfield. I mean, how does the league shape the way you coach?
It's a good question, just because you got to be intense. Every day is a battle, and the kids understand that, and they, especially the juniors that were last year that are seniors, they were 10-0 their JV year, and you're just kind of like, hey man, you guys don't understand. Varsity's a different breed. So instilling that last year that hey, it's all-out effort, even in practice, you got to fly around nonstop, and the coaches are they're preaching it the same thing. You can't take a breath. It is nonstop, always preparing. If you lack preparation, it's going to show its ugly head on Friday nights. So, we're always on the ball. We're always pushing them to get better, never satisfied. You're always working like somebody's better than you, but on that field, you better play like you're the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
linemen win games, obviously, Brett. That's definitely some moniker that you know well. Dawson Putney is the leader of your offensive line. Talk to me about how special this young man is and what he brings to the table.
Dawson Putney, gosh, he vocal leader, absolutely, spiritual leader. I told him a quote yesterday. I said, out of 100 men, 10 shouldn't be there. 79 of them, they're part of the fight. 9 of them might be good fighters. There's one warrior, and Dawson, you're a warrior. And that's the best way to explain that kid. He's 1 out of 100, 1 out of a million. He's just a flat-out warrior, highly intellectual. I can't speak enough good things about him. Classroom, never have to worry about. You talk to his teachers, love them to death. You talk to the student body, absolutely love that guy. And then you talk to his coaches, even the baseball coaches. If we had just one more like him, we're unstoppable.
Wow, that's high praise right there. I like that.
Year 2 now, you got that first big offseason under your belt. How much success can you have just by the simple fact that you know these kids and the kids now know you?
I'd say sky's the limit with our guys. We have our team goals, and then we always keep our team goals in-house. We're private. We like to say our program's private. We don't go and pump our chests. We're humble. But I would say the sky's the limit with these guys. As long as they do what we know that they can do as coaches, our potential is through the roof. But the kids know that potential means you just haven't done anything yet. You got to get your nose at the grind and get after it.
For you guys to break into the upper echelon of the league, which right now I think everybody would agree is probably Liberty and Bakersfield. Mm-hmm. The state champion from 2 years ago, section finalist from last year that beat Mission Viejo and beat Bakersfield twice. Does it take a big win over one of those programs to say that you're in that? I mean, it's almost like running through quicksand because they're running at the same time as you, trying to get better, just as you're trying to get better. What goes into that challenge?
We leave that up to you guys. We come in, we prepare for that Friday. We know every game's going to be a battle, but we know Liberty, reigning champions of our league, BHS, solid program, obviously under Coach Gola, always has been a solid program. We'll leave all of that stuff for the media and you guys to. When we
we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah.
You can be honest too.
but we like what you're building there. Let's take a look at the schedule for Stockdale this year and what you guys have coming up. You open with Delano. I think who else opened with Delano? So Highland?
Yeah. So they've got
they have them week 0. And then Atascadero, that was a fantastic game over at their place last year. Was that triple overtime? 4?
Yes, I believe it was triple overtime. Yeah. So,
you remember it because it's a loss. If it was a win, you probably wouldn't remember. But
yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, one of those games that
I
could
remember
go either
vividly.
way. Yeah. and then at Clovis, which if Liberty's not in the section favorite, Clovis probably is at this point.
They got a lot of returners.
So that's a key game. You guys almost had them last year too. When you go up to a game like that, it's going to be a road trip and a hostile environment and all that sort of thing. A very good team against you. Do you coach any differently, or is the challenge to try to keep things the same?
These boys, our boys, they like hostile environments. They like that. They get fired up over stuff like that. To see them in the locker room in Centennial, you don't have to give any motivational speeches. They're ready to rock. Mm-hmm. They love hostile environments, and that says a lot for their character. Those first 2, Atascadero, Clovis, a lot of adversity, and we could have cowered to it, or get forged by it. And we stepped up for, we had 2 other close ones that we came up on top. So that has a lot to say about these guys' character.
Yeah, you have, you did play a lot of close games last year. Ridgeview was a close game. I think, was that the game the power went out?
Yeah.
And the power went out, and it almost changed momentum a little bit.
Yeah.
You played the close one that you won against Centennial, obviously. These close games, they come down to, you have to have a little bit of luck at some point, I think, but you also, you can build the character and the fitness too, right? I mean, you can do everything you can.
Oh, yeah. And this year we preach, 4 quarters, and then now we're even more so because we went OT. Heck, why not 7 quarters? Because that's what we came down to.
Or is that just a way to make them run more sprints?
Yeah, obviously. A little more sprints.
Yeah.
Does a body good.
So, Brett Shelton, bottom line this year, year 2, what is the state of Stockdale football?
We're headed in the right direction. I think obviously all coaches will agree that you're never satisfied where you're at. You always want to push forward, push faster, and move faster. But we're headed in the right direction. We got the right attitude. We're flying around. We're having fun, and we're learning the game of football the right way.
Good deal. We'll get out there and get back to work and get that shirt sweaty. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Brett Shelton, Stockdale head football coach, year 2 for him, and we will roll on with the BVarsity. Are we halfway done?
Yeah, we're halfway done.
We're halfway done. We got David Finucchi of East to kick off the second half of the Wednesday portion of the Super Show right after this.
Don't leave.